didn't know anything about powerlifting. He was the power lifter. I would go to his meets and he would hear me say every once in a while, that's cool. I'd like to try that. But I never, you know, I would not have put myself in a competition. He got my registration, got me signed up for a meet, and he was like, "Oh, by the way, you're gonna do this meet with me." And I was like, "Say what?" um, I did it, and I won. I won best overall female lifter, and I was like, "All right, we can do this."
Well, I know that's the thing is couples that, like, especially in bodybuilders. I just interviewed a gentleman, him and his wife are both pro bodybuilders. It's good to find that commonality in the
Yeah.
sport you share, but sometimes it can be, like things like, especially if you're on prep and you're training, and sometimes it can be a little bit, yeah, 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 yeah. It can be antagonistic at times, but it's good that you both found passion y'all both share. Is he still
Yeah.
powerlifting?
Yes, he is. He is.
Mhm.
He still competes. He doesn't compete as much anymore. Just with age, injuries. And he's the type of person that he'll get an injury and he'll be like, "We'll nurse it. It'll feel a little bit better." And then he goes right back to training and it's never fully recovered. And then he hurts himself again. So he's hard headed.
I'm always say a hard head makes a soft ass. So yeah, but that's good that he still do as much he feel like he can do. Especially when you get older. Because I can tell you, like, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, ma'am, I'm just some days I get up in the morning, I just feel like I just can't keep on going. I'm 50. I'm gonna be 51 in November.
Mhm.
Soon I'm just going over the hill. So,
Yeah.
so what was that experience like? Your first competition in bodybuilding?
It was, I was I was nervous. I was nervous as hell. When I was getting ready, getting the tan, I was like, all right, I guess this is really happening. Um, I was petrified. I grew up on the stage doing like musicals and stuff. So I thought I'll be fine. But once it was totally different. Once I got up on that stage and those lights were so bright, and I was like, I'm about to die. But the adrenaline got me through. I was very nervous, but it was awesome because there were other females there that I was competing against. They were seasoned, had done this for many years, and they made me feel very welcome and very comfortable.
Yeah, that's good because you know what, this is a different situation compared to powerlifting. You're mostly lifting weights. You got a nice little sling, a t-shirt on, something like that. You're not too exposed. But then with bodybuilding, you know, you're on the stage. You're pretty much half naked, covered in
Yes.
oil and tan,
Yep.
and then you're wearing this little suit that's just enough to cover your kibbles and bits. You know,
Yes.
you know, and it's just like on the other side, you had the guys who were banana hammocks and board shorts,
Yeah.
and it's a different level. I've talked to ladies where their first time, like, they just got nervous. Some just got sick. When one lady told
Mm.
me sometimes she got a little tipsy when she hit the stage. But it's an experience that I think that it really tests your mentality, how you feel, especially you out there on the stage and people looking at you and you got to be judged.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely a different experience than powerlifting. Like I said, I was super nervous. The thing with the little tiny bikini, I was like, that I'm very modest for the most part. So romping around in a little suit, I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I could do this. But I did it and I loved it. It was great. I had a very I did it locally in Daytona. It's probably about an hour or so away from where I currently live. So I was fortunate where I was able to have family and friends come out there to support me. So knowing that they were there, listening to them cheer me on, it was helpful and motivating.
Yeah, that's good. That's good that you have support from family and friends. Most I've talked to some ladies that sometimes when you get in sport, at first their family and friends, especially their parents, don't understand it because you're doing something that's not very traditional. That's not where all women do. And
Mhm.
what's your ethnic background, your family background?
We're Puerto Rican.
I, mommy, blah. Oh, I got me a pretty weekend here. I got the, oh yeah, y'all special breed, y'all special breed.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I think because that's a very traditional kind of ethnicity, because of the background. I think especially I talk to ladies from Mexico and Chile and other countries where they're very machismo, as they might
Yeah.
say. And you're doing a sport that's seen very masculine in a way.
I think because they were already used to seeing the powerlifting side, um, when I transitioned and they saw this, they actually took it as, oh, that's yes, you're putting on muscle, you're getting bigger, but you're still very feminine and it's ladylike kind of in a sense. You know, you look beautiful where, powerlifting, you don't look beautiful. You look hideous when you're lifting.
Yeah, like you gotta think about you squatting to it,
Yeah. Yes.
and then you're on stage. You look nice. You get your makeup on. You get your suit on. Your hair is done, and so she looks so pretty. And
Yes.
the next time your mom see you at the powerlifting show, baby, don't turn your face like that. It just doesn't look right. Come
Yeah.
on.
And of
But
course, when she sees all the weight, she's like, oh my God, you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to this, you're going to that. And whatever. I did it
well,
anyway, obviously.
well, like I said, our mothers, like I said, my mother's been gone for some time, and they are the ones who really love and support us, whatever we do. It may not something they like, but it's good that
Yeah.
she respects your decision in life. So anyway, earlier, so I said that you were a veteran of the United States military. What branch and what was your position?
So I started out in the Army. I was air defense, a Patriot missile crew member. I did that straight out of high school. Graduated and shipped off, did that for a few years. I was married. I got married in the Army, got divorced in the Army. I got out and was a civilian for a while. I did medical, started as a medical assistant, did that for a hot minute. And then decided that I wanted to go back in, and I was going to go back into the Army. I wanted to do medical there, but they wanted me to go back to my old MOS, and I wasn't willing to do that. I didn't want to be Patriot anymore. I had already spent so much time in the medical field that I wanted to stay medical. So I went and I talked to the Navy recruiter, and I said, you know what? They'll take me. I didn't want to do Navy full time, so I just stayed with the reserves until I was done with my time.
Yeah.
So I was a corpsman in the Navy.
Yeah, the Navy and Army are two different branches there, but they serve equal purpose to protect our country, to help
Yeah.
our citizens. When I was younger, I was interested in the Marine Corps, but I wasn't built for it. The running wasn't for me. And I
Yeah.
got two of my oldest niece and my youngest nephew served, and I respect their service and their time in the military and the Army. And like it's tough, especially a woman being because women, I think there's a little bit more allowances now than like it used to be back in the day, but things are changing
Yeah.
over time, and also the dedication and the work ethic of the military kind of melds a little bit with your bodybuilding.
It does. It does. I like that military way of life. I try to not do it too much here at the house with my family, but it's in my head. It's who I am. My husband's in the well, he's in the Air National Guard right now. He has a civilian job as well. But he's in the military. So we that discipline, that respect, that order, it's there. We try not to be too hard on our kids, because I still want them to have a, fun life, but there's gotta be structure.
So your husband in the Air Force.
Yeah.
So you get 5-star meals and get to travel the world.
Yeah. When he did, so he when he left about, I think it was like 2 years ago, he was gone for about 6 months. And the way that he was living his lifestyle there, I was like, they baby y'all.
Yeah, I know quite a few people who know people that are in the Air Force, and some people who tell me, hey, you get to have nice meals, you get to go to the movies like that. While
It
the
is.
Marine Corps, you get to eat crayons, and if you're Army, you get to eat beans, and if you're Navy, well, you have to worry about some guy named Don. He wants to be a Don Juan, on that
Yeah.
boat. A lot of guys, I used to pick up this guy I used to work with. He was in the Navy. I was in the Marine Corps. We just talk junk to each other, but yeah, I remember both Navy and the Marine Corps are pretty much brother and sister. You might say brothers, So
Yeah.
now, what's going on now? Because it seemed like you hadn't been. I think I saw something a while back that you had a setback.
I did. So in 22, I did the Iron Life, and then I went to get my pro card in 23 in the universe, and I missed it by one spot. Still stings, but I knew what the feedback was. I always have issues with my glutes and my hammies, which I think at this point now we think we're there. But I was going to do another show in 23. But I had gotten a pro invite to a powerlifting meet in New York. It's a 9/11 meet. I had been doing it for a few years prior. I love that meet. That is the one meet that I'm like, I don't care what I'm doing, I'm going because it means something to me. It was in that meet though that during my third squat, I was trying to squat 600. I unracked it. I was like, oh, I got this. It felt light. I went down and I got a little loose and my right knee caved in. It popped that in. They lifted the weight up and popped up and I got up and it hurt, but it wasn't like this excruciating pain. I was like, okay, well, maybe I just popped my knee out a little bit. So they took me back. They checked my leg out. We wrapped it real good, kept some ice on it. I continued with that meet. I benched. I did deadlift on one leg because by the time it got to the deadlift part, my right leg was starting to hurt me. So all the pressure was on my left leg while I was deadlifting. I won that meet with that injury. Still not sure what was going on. We got back to Jacksonville about 2 days later, and my leg was the size of like 3 legs. It was huge. So at that point, I known that I did something wrong. It wasn't just my knee popped out and popped back in. So I went for an MRI, and I completely tore my ACL. I strained my MCL. I broke my tibia and fibia in 4 spots and completely shattered the tibial head.
Good God.
Yeah.
Shit. I can say shit.
It was bad. So they I had to have surgery. They waited until all the bones healed, and the injury happened in September. November 21st is when I had the surgery. They were okay with having the surgery. The bones were pretty much at that point where they're strong enough where we can do the surgery. Did the surgery November 21st, and then all that next year I rehab, and then the December of last year of 24 was my comeback show. I went to the Mel Chancey Holiday Classic, and I killed it there. I won overall at that one, and I was like, all right, I'm back.
Yeah. Maybe an old song. This show called Hee Haw. He say it was my bad luck. He had no luck at all. I mean, I can tell you, I got 2 bad knees. It's arthritis because I'm getting older now, and it's a genetic. I tell you, there's times where I just feel like I'm hip hop. I'm like walking with one leg sometimes. But yeah, I mean that's tough. And you kept on going. But most people say, you know what? I'm done. I'm going home. I'm going to ask my knee. I'm going to call the doctor. I'll be all right. But you kept on going.
I had gone to New York to do that meet, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I was like, if I got to do it on one damn leg, I'm gonna do it on one damn leg. And so I've got videos too where I'm doing the bench, and you can see the knee. I'm stable. The knee caves in again, and I push it back out while I'm benching. And I told my husband, I was like, all right, I think I'm good. We're good. I set a record at that meet as well. And then he was like, what do you want to do about the deadlift? I'm like, well, I've already done everything else. So I couldn't do anything impressive. I think we did 350 on a stiff leg deadlift. I was in so much pain at that point, but I was like, we're going to do this because I want to see what I can accomplish with one leg.
Maybe favorite old school wrestler said, like, son, you better kill me before I quit. So,
yeah, I wasn't gonna. Nope. Wasn't gonna.
Yeah. And that show was The Iron Life. Here she is with the late Amy Richardson, a beautiful lady. I actually saw her a few years ago before she passed. It was Savannah. I wish I had talked to her. That's one of my greatest regrets. I wish I had talked to her. Amazing physique. I think she's going to, the next following year, she's going to make her women's bodybuilding debut, but then she passed away because she got sick. And that was an experience for you, But at the Regents show, now you are, nationally qualified.
Yep. Again.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. So we're right now, I haven't officially started prep. I am at the end of my off season. And prep should start here in a couple weeks because we're going back to Vegas in November.
So you're gonna do the which
Masters USA.
Master USA's? Yeah, I know. I think I know a couple ladies doing that show. You know, it's a great opportunity. It's also if you don't get it, you think you want to do the national championships in Texas.
So we had talked about that one. I'm sponsored by Gorilla Labs, and they're out in Texas. So that was one show that we did consider doing versus the one in Vegas. I talked to my coach. He was like, let's just do Vegas, see how it works out. And, the Texas one is just a couple weeks, I think like 2 or 3 weeks later, maybe. If I've got the funds, we can do that one. If not, we'll see. But I'm trying to just do Vegas and get it done.
Yeah, you better have the money, honey. That's the thing about this sport, because
Who are you telling?
yeah, it's a competition after your ladies. It's a like I said, compared to the guys. I said again, all they gotta do is put on a pair of banana hams and boy shorts and tanning, and maybe just shave their head or maybe put some mousse, and that's it. But for y'all ladies, it's more of a cost. You have to have presentation. You must be, combine two factions, muscularity and femininity. You have to have your hair done, your makeup done, your suits, right there. That's right there. That's somebody's rent or their car note. I mean, it's expensive to compete for women compared to men. And
Yes.
also, your coach, who you working with right now?
So right now I'm with Patrice Mason. He's in Atlanta with Forge Steel Fitness. My husband and him go way back for years. And right after the injury, I talked to him and I was like, you know what? I still want to do, I want to do bodybuilding, but I want to go a different way with a different coach. And he was like, let's do it. So, and he's got, and I like him because he's not just a bodybuilder. He was a power lifter previously as well. So he understands my love for both of them and doesn't give me shit, when I start talking about powerlifting and telling me, well, you're just a bodybuilder now. I'm not. My heart is still over there as well.
Well, like I said, there's a lot of ladies who do both. Do powerlifting and do the bodybuilding. One lady who I follow, Angela Yo, she's doing a good bit of it.
Yeah.
I think some others. I think there's another lady. I think on the back of my head, she still does it.
Hunter Henderson, she transitioned over.
Yeah, Hunter Henderson. Also for friend Brianna Terry.
Brianna Terry, yep.
Yeah, I heard that Hunter might be doing Tampa. This next weekend.
Yes, she's in peak week right now.
Yeah, I think Brianna might be doing a show. I think it might be the new show that's coming out also in Vegas. It's the Steve Carr show, and they have women's bodybuilding, or she might be doing physique. I don't know per se, but she can go either way. But I think everybody finds something about each sport that they love about it. It's not easy, especially the training, the dieting. I know there's times especially you got kids at the house, and kids don't want to eat no broccoli and rice and dried chicken.
Now, the little girl, she likes to eat my prep, and I'm like, I weighed this, go away. So I'll make a little bit of extra for her. But my boy, no, he is not about the broccoli, rice, and chicken. He's talking about let's have some pizza, let's this and that. But I don't deprive them of things just because I'm eating the way that I'm eating. There's snacks in the house. I try to keep them more on the healthier side, but they've got their unhealthy snacks. They've got their stuff. It's just I have to have the willpower to not eat it or not drink it. I'll smell it. I'm like, come over here and eat by me so I can smell you.
Yeah, that's good. You know what? Hey, like I said, food is part of the process. But sometimes there's some foods like you remember that movie New Jack City with Chris Rock as Pookie said, "Be calling me, man. Be calling my name. Be calling me. Be calling me." And it's good. How old are your babies?
So my little girl is 7, and the big boy is 14. I also have a 27-year-old. But he's out of the house already.
Yeah, you got a grown man, you got a teenager. Remember, those teenagers got to beat them down. Beat them down.
Yep. Thankfully, he's my good one. The 14-year-old, he's good. It's the little 7-year-old that I got to worry about.
Yeah, that's she's a little princess. She's the baby of
Yes.
the house. You know,
Yeah.
she's from that shot. We have your shout to my man Joshua Simpkins coming through. He said this. He says Colette Nelson was a bodybuilder. Um, I after that, I mean, the powerlifter. Yeah. Also know one lady, Hawkins. I know her name back. She also was about to be a pilot. I think she's still doing pilot. I thought at one point I saw she had gotten renewed her pro card. I thought she could make a return to body. I was excited about that.
Mhm.
But it looked like it's maybe just something. We are here, my man, Brown Baldy. He says this. He says, right on from the military veteran to another. Yeah, shout out to you, brother. Also, I also think you service. I said, appreciate sacrifice you made for our country. So now the plan is to do the show in Vegas, and
Yes.
that's a great opportunity. And what divisions you're doing? You're doing one? Are you going to double dip, or you just do one?
I'm just gonna stick with women's physique. My husband's trying to talk me into doing women's bodybuilding as well. Um, I feel like I just want to stick with women's physique and just get that right. Be 100% with that one. I know that he's like, it's just a couple of different poses. You can do it. I think you're fine. Um, he does talk me into doing a lot of things. So jury's still out, but I'm more leaning towards just women's physique.
Here, this is where I would say this: never put your eggs in one basket. Because
Hmm.
just saw a lady who did both physique and women's bodybuilding. She got a pro card just recently. Some do get, they might get their pro card specifically in that division, but it's always good to, as quote my great master, Ra's al Ghul, the demon's head, always be ready to surround at all time. Never give up sure footing for a killing blow. And that's the
Hmm.
thing, just a few poses. And the thing is also, as an amateur, you have to pay to get in that division. That might be a cost you may not want to pay.
Yeah, the shows are expensive. The shows
Yeah.
are very expensive. I was like, if you got that money, I mean, let's do it. But I know we ain't got that money like that.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm broke. I grew up poor, but now I'm broke. So we got here. Shots from a man, Brian Brown Baldy. He says this is Brown Bowley. I think he says respect to George for giving those athletes that flower. No, not a problem, brother. Not a problem. So, folks, what we're gonna do here while we got Kathy here, we're gonna jump into social media for a little bit. So, you want to follow her? Her links in the description of this live. Reach out and support if in genuine interest. But guys, I tell you this: she's a cute little Puerto Rican. I know, guys. She got a tattoo on her chest. She got look, her shoulders are out. But guys, she has a husband. He's in the Air Force. He might drop bombs on you. No strange shit. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear somebody say that a tomahawk missile came into the house because he said some weird shit to his wife. That's on you. I warned you, but you didn't listen. So, folks, we're going to jump into her social media for a bit. You want to follow her? The links are in the description. And here she is. And right here, you're doing some training. Which is your favorite training you like? Which do you feel like you prefer when you're working out?
So honestly, right now, because we've been so focused with lower legs, glutes, hammies, that is become my favorite because I know that is my problem area, and I want to make sure that it's not a problem anymore. So um, I say lower, even though my husband is the one who he is my trainer. I have got a coach, but they work together because he was a trainer prior, so he's the one that does all my programming. So there's no mercy when he trains me. He doesn't treat me any differently. If anything, because he knows my potential, he goes harder on me. So sometimes I don't like him because of that, but it's all coming together. So I guess I can't complain.
It's like that. You remember the Karate Kid movie where the guy says, "Sweep the leg, no mercy."
Yes.
So and the legs. I think it's an important part to build those up, especially you're a little bit on the shorter side, so you
Hmm.
want to feel more even because you want to have a good strong base. When you last show, what was critique from the judges?
So funny enough, for the all three shows, the same thing. It was we got to get those glutes and hammies up, glutes and hammies up. So that's we've been training them hard. We've actually started training, I guess if you want to call it the wellness way, where we're doing like 3 lower days a week, and putting everything else into the other 2 days. We've kind of switched training a little bit because my coach wanted me to have a rest day after my leg day, because he knew how hard Tim was pushing me. But yeah, it was always them glutes and hammies. I'm like, damn it for them glutes and hammies.
Well, you're Puerto Rican. You got those very strong tissues. I think, wouldn't you ever thought about, I think wellness just started when you started bodybuilding. Was that a division you were interested in?
So I was interested in it. I didn't feel like I fit anywhere else other than maybe women's bodybuilding if I got a little bit bigger. And then when I got with my first coach, that was his recommendation, was women's physique.
Yeah.
So we just
I,
went
I
with
think,
it.
yeah, I think everybody finds the right thing to work with their body types.
Yeah.
If you got stronger glutes and legs, you have wellness. If you are a little bit leaner, taller, I think bikini. If you have
Mm-hmm.
the broad, wide shoulders, that's fitness. I mean figure.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have like a very athletic build, that is physique. And then you are more fuller, more have those muscle bellies. That's bodybuilding. Everybody has those different things. The toughest one
Yeah.
out of the divisions is fitness because you got to do all that jump around chicken sweat.
Oh, I'm not jumping around nowhere. I would look
Yeah,
like a straight dummy rolling around. Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
yeah. Also, so you did the universe. So I remember one year they had like 600 bikini girls. Man, that was I
Oh my,
interviewed a couple. You were there that
yes.
year? I
Big
interviewed two
bikini.
ladies.
That when
Go
I did
ahead.
the universe in 23, I swear there were 10,000 bikini girls there.
You mean there were millions of bikini girls? I, I interviewed two of the ladies who got the pro card that year, and I asked them
Mhm.
how they told me I remember a friend of mine was there because she was supporting a friend of hers, and she said, George, it was like all these bikini girls. I know how they do it. I don't know how the judges could do it, and
No,
it,
me either. It's a lot. Like I think honestly, every show between bikini and figure, but usually bikini is a great showing. I mean, there's so many there.
well, there's a new division coming out. I'm not a fan of it particularly. Now, I've interviewed a lady who did that division, that's fit model, and I think
Mhm.
one thing that's the big fear with this new division is it might be more numbers, maybe more than bikini.
Wow, that's gonna make for a long show,
Yeah,
long show day.
I mean, the judges probably have to, you know, take a bathroom break every hour, or sit there and get a catheter. So and here she's
Mhm.
that's your little baby here. Oh, she's so
Yep,
precious.
that's her.
She's trouble. I can see it.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's coming. I told her just before I got on. I was like, "Hey, I'm doing this interview. Don't come in the living room and bother me." She has come in here about 500 million times already.
Well, if she wants to come in and talk for a little bit, I don't mind. I had kids on here. She want to come in for a little bit and say hello.
If she comes back, I'll let her know.
All righty. We got here. No, if see. Oh yeah. Oh, let's see. Oh, see. So that's the thing about this sport: the cost, the travel, the everything involved with it, and also how one thing is, my challenge about giving y'all ladies recognition for your commitment and passion and consistency for a sport, compared to where people look at it, especially when you're a woman in bodybuilding. And people
Mhm.
go like, there's it's two sides. There's the side here we're seeing like, here she's trying to be all manly, get all the muscles, and
Mhm.
there's some guys that are intimidated. Then the other side saying, and there's other guy who's saying, yeah, I love her big buff muscles. I wouldn't like to hold her.
Yep.
What's your thoughts, on either one of those types?
I mean, it is what it is. I've gotten the hate from the guys that say, "Oh, she looks like a dude." Um, I naturally, I will tell you, I've always had a deep voice. It has gotten deeper, but I've always had a deep voice. She sounds like a man. She looks like a man. Um, I'm like, first of all, I don't think I sound like a man. I don't think I look like a man. And maybe that's your own insecurities because, maybe somebody, and not to say that I'm all that because I'm not, I'm just a regular average female. You just worried that somebody like me wouldn't like you. And I wouldn't, not if you're going to have